You know, I was just thinking, how did DDP get here? I remember watching him on his come up. I think I watched him from his debut, or at least his second fight. Trevin Giles, I think it was. I think that might have been his second UFC fight, but I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember pretty much all of his fights up until this point going like this, to where he would win them, but he just honestly looked really bad. And he looked like he was going to gas out, and he looked like he was going to get knocked out a million times, but he would always win. And so, logically, because of that, I'd always pick against him in his next fight. So it's like, oh, he just barely won that, but there was a big chance of him losing, and in some cases, he probably should have lost. Well, not should have lost, but you know what I mean? Like, anyone who used to watch his older fights knows what I'm talking about. He just looks like an absolute sloppy slugger, and he just somehow comes out with the win every time. So yeah, realistically, it's like he doesn't really look good, but he's winning, so he's going to keep moving up and fighting better guys. So it's like, oh, the next guy he fights is probably going to be better, so he's probably going to lose. And it would happen again and again. Brad Tavares, I picked Brad in that fight. I think Darren Till was next after that. I picked Darren Till, even though that's definitely a questionable pick. But it looked like he was going to beat him. It looked like he was going to knock him out in the second round. And if he wasn't injured or whatever was going on with him, there was always something going on with Darren. He would have won. And then Derek Brunson, I picked him. And it looked like he was going to win. But then, Dricus was kind of gassing out. And then Brunson gassed out more. And then, all his fights are just so weird. He never wins in a clean way. And then, who did he fight after that? Oh, Robert Whittaker. I remember telling my friend, who is also into UFC, but he's not into UFC as much as me. So he kind of asks me for for picks and stuff. And I remember telling him that Whittaker was the most lockiest lock you could ever have. I had never been more confident in picking someone in a fight. I said Whittaker's going to easily just knock this guy out. He's too sloppy, and he was a huge favorite too. But I was willing, I don't remember if I did, but I was willing to put hundreds and hundreds of dollars on him, because I was just so confident. There's no way this guy's going to beat Whittaker. This is a huge step up in competition. And then he just knocks him out, and it's wow, okay. And then after that was when I was okay, this guy's good. I don't know why he's good. It doesn't look like he's good. It's still hard for me to accept that he's good, but he just is. And then, he becomes champion, and it's all right, this guy's one of the best now. I don't care. I don't know why. I just don't know fighting. He's one of the best, and now, he's been champion. He's defended his belt a few times, and now he's going to fight Hamzat, and people actually think he's going to win. There's a huge part of me that thinks he's going to win too. I probably would favor him over Hamzat, to be honest, mostly just because the gas tank. And you could say the striking too. Again, his striking still looks sloppy to me, but it's good. It's good. He knocks people out. He beats people. It is what it is. It's good in a weird way. But yeah, imagine say 3-4 fights ago, imagine picturing Dricus versus Hamzat. Everybody would say, oh, Hamzat's just gonna whoop him like he does everyone else. I mean, Hamzat whooped Whittaker, and he could, in those early rounds, but it's at the point where I don't even know. I don't even know who would win that fight, whereas before I would say easily Hamzat. Now it's I don't know. I'd probably be more confident picking DDP, to be honest. It's just pretty crazy to see how things just flipped around for him, and from my perspective on him, and for everyone else's perspective on him. And yeah, I think that's just how MMA works sometimes. It's not this pretty looking sport for the most of the time. It's just who has better cardio, who's tougher, who's weirder, who has a weirder style that's going to mess up the guy that has the clean striking. Look at DDP versus Izzy. Izzy was doing good for most of that fight, but Dricus won, and it was kind of a sloppy, weird finish too. So you put a guy like that up against a clean striker like Izzy, and that guy wins. That's how MMA is sometimes. I think you gotta have that chaotic, weird, / good cardio / tough, just a different style that is just hard to prepare for. I mean, look at Strickland. He beat Izzy, and he was champion. He has one of the weirdest styles ever as well. These two guys have been the champions for the last few years at this weight class. And yeah, it's not the best weight class. I get that, but there is guys that you look at and you say they're really more skilled than guys like Izzy and Strickland. Or I mean, guys like DDP and Strickland. It's kind of weird because it's pretty much every other sport. And I know this isn't really a sport, but even kickboxing and boxing, it's mostly the more skilled guy that wins most of the time. But with MMA, there's so many factors. I mean, there's kicks, there's wrestling, there's jiu-jitsu, there's striking, there's everything in one. So just naturally, it's just going to be messy. And that's why DDP is so good. And that's why he's still here. And that's why I think he's going to be at the top for a long time. Whether he's champion or not, I think he's going to hang around the top. I think it's just so hard. You can study and you can prepare for guys like this for so long. But when you're actually in there and you only have 5 minutes around, you only have 25 minutes in total. 5 minutes around, I mean, that's not long. That's not very long to figure out someone's style. 5 minutes to figure it out, and then maybe you lose that round because you didn't figure it out. And then going into round 2, your coaches tried to tell you things, but like you're stuck in your own ways. And on top of that, this guy's just coming at you and he's tough, and you punch him in the face and he just doesn't go away and he doesn't get tired. Just guys like that have a huge advantage. And yeah, I mean, that's why I think he's still here. So yeah, I wonder how much longer his champion reign's going to last. Do you guys think he's going to beat Hamzat? I think that's a big question. My analysis on that fight would be, it's kind of the classic thing with all Hamzat's fights, and I think people understand this. It's just like he's really dangerous early, first 2 rounds, and then his cardio is definitely not going to be as good as DDP. DDP has way more experience and just better cardio in general. So yeah, if he can just survive those rounds. I just think DDP's so big though, compared to the rest of the middleweights. He's fought a lot of welterweights too. He's fought Gilbert, he's fought Kamaru. They're welterweights originally. So I think that's going to play a big factor too, the size. Is Hamzat just going to be able to ragdoll this guy like he has with everyone else? He did it to Whitaker, but DDP, he's just bigger than everyone. So I'm really excited to see that. Maybe I'll make a separate video. Probably not though. But if I had to bet, to be honest, I'd probably just pick whoever the underdog is. I have a feeling DDP is going to be a slight underdog on the actual odds. And I'd probably pick him. I'd be more confident picking him, to be honest. I'd be scared if I picked Hamzat. He'd need to get him out of there early, and I think that's going to be hard. Yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on DDP. That's why I think he's still here. He went from a guy that everyone thought wasn't going to last and wasn't going to get to the top, and then he did, and he's been staying here for a while. He's been the champion with 3 title wins, and yeah, I think he's going to be here for at least a couple more years longer. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of DDP as a whole, and let me know what you think of the Hamzat fight. I'm very interested. Thanks for watching.